Hello everybody and welcome back to more Rising Phoenix Racing League. Today is round 4 of season 4 and it is, as you can see, at Germany. So we currently have 15 drivers here. Hopefully we'll get a few more before qualifying gets underway, which will be in just a moment. But for the time being, this is what we have. So let's get on with it. Let's do it. So yeah, just waiting for the drivers to all get ready to go, and then we'll be off. Let me just check. More before qualifying gets underway, which will be in just a moment. Alright. So yeah, I think we'll be starting in 3 minutes. Probably just waiting for an extra driver or two. That's just running a little bit late. But yeah, in the meantime, so yeah, it's obviously short qualifying, 50% race, equal car performance, of course. Safety cars are on, collisions are on, full vehicle damage, dynamic weather, and strict corner cutting. So turn 1 will be interesting with that, and turn 1 will also be interesting with cars probably spinning. It's very fast and it's a very sudden corner, and it's very tricky, especially with the curb there. So hopefully all the drivers will be good in that regard. Setups are obviously on. Parc Fermé rules on, of course. Ghosting is on. Obviously rules will be on, and it's manual race start. So holding in the clutch and then revving up and then going. So yeah, and then the assists, obviously, I should probably go into. Um, uh, Obviously, no braking assist. Traction control can be on medium. Racing line can be on. ABS can be on. Gearbox is manual. But then the ERS modes and the pit assists, the entry and release assists are off, or restricted to the manual and off settings. So yeah, we're currently missing Mercedes, Ferrari, both Alphas, and a Williams. So hopefully they can join in as soon as they can. And yeah. All right, so I think we're finally getting underway here. Thankfully. All right, here we go. So let's see if it's raining or not. I guess would be the first thing to check on as qualifying begins. All right, so it is definitely sunny for at least qualifying, so that is good. Just a little bit of clouds. So now let's see who's the first one out. It's going to be the Red Bull of Legend. So let's follow him, and he is on the softs. So probably will be making a 2-stop in the race if this is what he sets his time on, or his fastest time on. Followed by Black Phoenix in the McLaren, followed by Button, and then followed by Konal. So yeah, let's go back to Legend here, just to see his first run, as he was the first one out. Oh, and Legend is letting Phoenix through. So let's go on board with Phoenix now on the hards. And here he goes. Into turn 1. Very well done. Now, yeah, it'll probably be a dry race to start at least, as I said yesterday, because of the all the differing tire compound strategies. If it was a wet race, you would usually just see everyone going on the softs, because that's the fastest tire anyway. So there would be no point of going on harder tires if you're just going to start in wets anyway, because you want to maximize your qualifying position. And here comes Phoenix. A little bit of a slide over the last curb, but does a 12.5 on the hards. So that's a very good time on the hardest compound. Legend goes up P1 obviously, 11.3 on the softs, so 1.2 seconds ahead of Phoenix there. Next across the line will be Button, but he's invalidated his lap. Next will be Jay Prentice, who doesn't seem to be pushing right now and does a 13.8. Next up will definitely be Luke Vettel, 11.7 on the softs. And then we have Jizzy, who's invalidated. He's going back into the pits. We have Bazooka Joe, who goes P3 with a 12.299. We have Flex Marcel starting a lap. And we have Reese beginning or ending a invalidated lap, I believe. So let's follow Reese here, see his second attempt on the mediums. Purple in the first sector and the second sector, according to the telemetry so far for Wee Reese. A very nice third sector there, and it's going to be a 12.7 to go P6 on the mediums. So next to cross the line on a completed lap, I believe, will be Konal. Purple in the second sector. And up to the line, P7, 13.3. Jay has unfortunately invalidated his time. So has Jack. So has Anton. Black Phoenix, I believe, will be coming in this lap. So will Reese. So will Konal. Let's see if Jay goes on a second attempt here on the softs. Yeah, I believe he is. Oh, but he goes off at Sachs and almost spins. That may affect the start of his lap here. Oh, and here he goes. Ooh, and Jay's invalidated his time again in the first sector, so very unfortunate qualifying so far for him. As Shaiti is on a lap, and so is Gamez, Jack, and Jizzy. Jizzy's the furthest up the road, so we'll go with him. Up to the line, it's P3 for Jizzy in the 111s with a 111.996. As Luke Vettel begins his flying lap. As Shea goes P11. And Gamez goes P6. And as Button begins his lap as well. Ooh, but Gamez has gone off at turn 1. As Legend has set an 11.0 to further extend his lead. His pole position lead to around 8 or 6.5 tenths. As we watch one of his main challengers here today, Luke, completing his second attempts his lap, I believe. Coming into the last couple of corners. Ooh, a little bit wide on the exit, but he keeps it. And it is an 11.1. So very close. Only around less than a tenth away from Legend's time. It's going to be pretty close by the end. To see who can do it. And who can get pole. Gamez is letting some more cars through. Shea goes P9 with a 12.8. Prentice, I believe, is coming in. As Anton's on a lap. A little bit wide for Anton there, but he holds it. And coming out of the final corner, it's going to be a 12.7, excuse me, a 12.704 to go P9. Ooh, as Conal's on an invalidated lap. As Jay's beginning his lap. It was Jack. Oh, DNFs from the session after going wide at turn 1. Or losing it at turn 1. Very unfortunate end to qualifying there. He didn't set a lap yet, so he will be 15th or 16th. No, I think 15th and last. Ooh. As Jay has to navigate around Anton there. As Legend makes way for Bazooka Joe, let him go by on his lap. As Jay goes P13 with a 13.438 on the mediums. So Bazooka Joe currently 86 milliseconds up on his time. So let's see if he can improve. Maybe he can get up into P4 or P3. Or P5 or P4 or something like that. With the current improvement he's going at. As Reese goes P3 on 11.6. Oh, and Bazooka Joe hits the wall after spinning at the blind right-hander there. As Gamez retires from the session. Bazooka Joe, his really good lap that was probably set to move him up a couple spots has been ruined now. And now he has to wait quite a long time to get a new wing, and then come back out and try again. Oh, and as Marcel, Bazooka Joe has retired. Marcel goes P3 with an 11.4, so it's a racing point 3.4 right now. As here's Legend trying to extend his lead even more. or get an even faster time rather, because his lead was cut by a lot by Luke Vettel on that last lap, who we should see coming out pretty shortly. Two-tenths up in the second sector. Pushing really hard, of course. Here we go into the final couple corners. Double right-hander onto the straight. DRS open. It is a 10.7 purple in every single sector. And that is a purple lap. 4/10 or around 3.5 tenths clear to Luke Vettel at the moment. That is fairly safe, and he can be pretty comfortable with that for pole position. However, you never know what Luke or Marcel or Reese could do to displace that, to potentially displace that and steal it from him. So we will see. But they've only got around 3 more minutes to do it, to start their laps. And here we go, Anton on his final run here on the mediums. Currently in P10. Of course, looking to improve. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer at turn 1. Braking down for turn 2. Reese on an outlap in front of him. Thankfully, Reese slows down and gets out of the way quickly. Anton currently half a second down on his time, so it's not looking too promising at the moment. Oh, as he goes wide, as another car goes wide, trying to get out of his way, the car of Jay Prentice, I believe. Yes, Jizzy, who was on an invalidated lap. But yeah, that has really affected both of their laps, as Black Phoenix gets invalidated as well. So Black Phoenix is currently going to be P6 at the highest in qualifying. Anton will be P10, and Jizzy will be P5 at the highest. Now I think Anton's going for another lap here, but he's going to run out of ERS quickly, and he's almost out of fuel as well, so there's no way he'll be able to complete it. As Legend retires from the session on provisional pole. Now following Jay here, as it appears to be getting more and more cloudy. But that won't affect the session at all. Purple second sector for JJ. Jizzy retires in P5. Ooh, a little bit wide at the exit. But it is P8 to finish off his qualifying. A 12.3 on the softs. So currently, we have 2 hard runners for the race. Well, actually, no. Yeah, 2 hard runners for the race, 3 or 4 medium runners, and then the rest are soft runners. And so here's Flex Marcel coming to end his lap. Currently in P3. Could probably get P2. Nope, stays P3. Just barely losing out on his previous best. As Luke is currently down by half a tenth or so. And once Luke crosses the line, we will see Luke does improve, but doesn't break into the 10s, and is unfortunately still around 4/10 off, 3/10 off of Legend's time. So it is Legend on pole position, Luke P2, Flex P3, Reese P4, Conal P5, Jizzy P6, Black Phoenix P7, Bazooka Joe P8, and I will read the rest once I get the page back. So Legend on pole, Luke Vettel P2, Marcel P3, Marcel P3, Reese P4, Conal P5, Jizzy P6, Phoenix, Black Phoenix P7, Bazooka Joe P8, J-Jig P9, Gamez Turish P10, Bunsback P11, Anton Bennett P12, Shay T P13, J Prentice P14, Jack King P15, and then Racing Maestro, who joined in a little bit too late for qualifying, but will still, of course, race, will be P16. So that is your grid, unless there's other people who joined that I don't know about. All right, so it's going to be a dry race, thankfully. All right. Alright, so here we go with the formation lap. 34 laps it'll be around here. A track I personally really like. However, that won't be the same for everybody, so we will see how they get along with turn 1 on the main start, and then turn 1 for the 34 laps, or 33 laps after that. And we'll see if there's safety cars, you know, all the usual stuff. See if there's safety cars, see if there's incidents. I'll do my best to provide as much as I can in terms of footage when and where it is relevant. I'll try not to miss anything. However, any incidents you'll probably see in the chat later on, or you'll at least hear being talked about in the chat. So even if I don't cover something, if I miss it, you'll still know a little bit more about what happened. In terms of an incident or something. So yeah, as all the cars start to come around the Sachs curve, we are just about a minute away from the start. So here we go. And alright, so all the cars are lined up. Legend and Luke have clear track in front. Well, Legend mainly, Luke partially. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights at Germany. And it's lights out and away we go. Legend and Vettel get equally good starts, and Vettel's on the inside going into turn 1. Vettel has the lead. A little bit of barging, but it is a clean start overall. Oh, the two Racing Points touch, and that is Marcel down all the positions as he does a half spin after contact with Wee Reese's side pod there. Konal going around or diving to the inside of Reese into the hairpin. Konal giving almost no room though. Ooh, and they touch. Jizzy and Phoenix battling as well. They go side by side through the fastest corner on the track. And it appears to be a pretty orderly start, aside from the little incident with the two Racing Points. It was a fairly clean start. I did see some carbon fiber at the first turn, but it wasn't that much, I don't think. So it should be, hopefully it'll be okay. Lewis Flex almost spins on the inside curb there. Oh, as JJ is into the pits, and so is Konal. So Legend leads from Luke. So Legend has got past Luke. Reese is up one position. Black Phoenix is up 3. Jizzy up 1. Bazooka up 2. Gamma's up 3. Anton up 4. Prentice up 5. Jack King up 5. When here's Anton on Gammas. And Bennett gets past. Oh, Flex and Button battling here. Ooh, there's more contact. And Flex almost gets into a spin for the second time today on only 2 laps. A very unfortunate start for him. He's down 10 positions. Hopefully he can make up some positions. He did really well to qualify, and he deserves a good race result too. But it won't be easy. So hopefully he can do it. As Button peels into the pits. As Black Phoenix is now pressurizing Reese here into turn 2. He's going to have to wait for DRS probably to get the move done. Which is active now. And it's probably going to be an easy pass here. As we will see. Yep, there we go. Was Anton dives down the inside of Bazooka Joe and gets P6. Ooh, a little bit wide is Gamez. And now Jay Prentice is looking to get around. Alright, so here we go. Gamez on Bazooka Joe. He goes to the inside for the hairpin. And then sends it. A little bit of contact, I think. But Bazooka Joe stays in front. Still side by side. But Bazooka manages to stay in front once again. Ooh, now Jay Prentice is getting really close. But has to back off. And then for P12, Racing Maestro and Flex Marcel battling. Anton on Jizzy here, as well as Black Phoenix on Luke Vettel. Anton's passed, but what about the battle for second place? A little bit of touching there, as the cutback is attempted by the McLaren. Button has a penalty for multiple warnings. Side by side they go. Luke Vettel trying to go around the outside of Black Phoenix here. Incredible racing. And Luke gets back. And Luke is passed. Oh, but Black Phoenix is not giving up just yet. They're going side by side, almost into sacks. Still, Black Phoenix is really hounding Luke here. But Luke is doing good. Oh! And now Black Phoenix has damage as Luke was going into the pits and broke to go in. So now Black Phoenix is leading the race but has damage and is on the hards. Alright, so here we go. Anton on Black Phoenix. Possibly for the lead of the race here. But he's too far back. He's not going to be able to get down this lap. Ooh, and he has to almost like avoiding action as he goes deep into the hairpin. As Luke and Reese are very close. Tries to get the cut back, but can't quite do it. Ooh, but he's still trying around the outside of the Mercedes grandstand corner. Nope. Ooh, but Luke went on the grass a little bit, and now they're side by side into the fast right-hander. Ooh, they touch. They touch, and Reese is around. Reese is around and right in the middle of the track. Oh, that could have been really bad if he hadn't ghosted there. But yeah, very unfortunate for Reese. That is a P3 and P4 start to P13 and P14 in the first 6 laps of the race for the racing points. As Conal gets a penalty. As the battle for the lead here, Anton versus Black Phoenix continues. Anton, of course, on the better tires at this point. It was Anton has to go wide. Almost loses it there. And here we go once again. DRS down the long straight. But the McLaren isn't close enough. But Anton goes in deep. But it's not enough for Black Phoenix to get past. As here we go for P14 here. Let's see. He's not going to be close enough. Reese will not be able to get past Button at the moment. Unless he makes a mistake. But nope, to no avail, unfortunately, for him. Very thankfully for Button. Oh, as Black Phoenix is coming in on lap 7 on the hards. Only 7 laps on the hards is coming in. So he is committing to a 2-stop for sure now. It has to be 2 medium sets, I would say. So currently Anton leads the race, followed by Gamez, Jay Prentice, Jack King, and Shay T. As the battle for P6 here, Legend versus Racing Maestro. Legend gets past. As Reese on button, 1 lap later, Reese still just doesn't have that speed to get past. Ooh, but button goes deep. Now Reese may have a chance here, but he backs out of it. Ooh, as here we go, a 3-way battle for P10 or P11. Phoenix versus Conal versus Marcel. As here comes Marcel on Conal, trying to get past, but then backs out of it. And here we go. Unfortunately, they're not close enough. As here we go, Reese versus Button, round 3 here on lap 10. Reese gets a much better exit this time off the hairpin and is passed up into 14th place. As there's 2 battles here, battle for P10 and battle for P12. Black Phoenix sets the fastest time. Ooh, as up here, battle for P4. Jack versus Shay T. Jack goes defensive, places the car very well, and keeps the position. Here we go for P8. Jizzy versus Luke. Jizzy keeps the position, or gets past, I can't remember. But Jizzy P8, Luke P9. Here we go, Shay T on Jack. Goes right to the inside here. Into the hairpin. And now Legend is getting really close to Shay T as well, and they're side by side. And for a moment I thought it was going to be 3 wide there into the Mercedes corner. Mercedes versus Red Bull versus Ferrari here for P4. Here we go, Legend versus Jack. Legend gets past. Jack has to go a little bit wide. And here we go. Legend weaving to try to break the slipstream. As Jack and Shay are now really close. Oh, Jack almost hits Legend. Under braking there. As for P7. Oh, contact. No damage though. Onto the Haas. Side by side goes the Red Bull family teams. With Flex Marcel waiting just behind. Well, someone's gone off there. I believe it was Racing Maestro. Lost a position or two in this battle. But yeah, everything is really close right now, so I'd like to keep this up if we could. Ooh, a little bit of a tap there almost through turn 1. Racing Master got a little bit loose. Into turn 2. Anton's gonna have the DRS on Phoenix. So here we go. Pulls out to the outside. Phoenix tries to cover him off. And Phoenix stays ahead. And here we go once again. Bazooka Joe this time ahead of Conal. As Conal goes wide, Owen pushes off Marcel. But Marcel recovers. As Jay Prentice and Racing Maestro both in the pits. Here we go, side by side. Ooh, Trench was joined. Here we go, side by side, almost side by side into the Mercedes corner, but they come out in a single file line. Oh, side by side again. This time for P11, Conal versus Marcel. Conal has to go a little bit wide, and Marcel tries to keep it in, but it doesn't phase Conal. As Shay T is now very close to Jack here, and with the DRS might get past. Here we go into the hairpin for the 16th time out of 34. Jack stays ahead. Who has Jizzy and Luke battling. Side by side. But Jizzy stays past. Stays ahead. As Anton on 15 lap old mediums comes into the pits. And he gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Jack and Shea also come in. Let's see, Gamez, fresh out of the pits, attacking Anton here, who pitted 1 lap ago. Or no, Anton, fresh out of the pits, trying to defend from Gamez, who pitted a lap ago. There we go. As Conal gets a penalty, battling up in front for P3. Ooh, a little bit wide for Reese there onto the gravel. As here we go for P8, Marcel versus Bazooka Joe. As they both get penalties, I believe. As here we go, Gamez on Anton and Luke on Jizzy. As well as Marcel on Bazooka Joe. Ooh, and Jack has a little bit of damage on his wing. I believe on the right side. He doesn't have an end plate, so that could definitely affect things. Ooh, as Button and Jay are battling, Jay gets pushed off wide, or gets forced out wide. But here we go, onto lap 19. Now we're gonna follow this train here. Anton getting past Luke and almost Jizzy as well. He's gonna try it. They're almost 3 wide. Anton gets pushed off or gets forced out. Now he's coming back at Jizzy. Into the Mercedes corner they go. Anton currently keeps the podium position, or gets the podium position, but has to go wide again. Crazy stuff happening here. As Luke is into the pits. So was Black Phoenix and so was Legend. So here we go, Gamez on Jizzy. A little bit too far back. Well, as Jay has retired from the session after an incident in the first corner, and there's a safety car now. Safety car has been deployed. Car blocking the track, so safety car obviously comes out First safety car of the race. So now we're gonna see what the drivers do. Let's see if Anton comes in. Anton has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So that is his chance of winning this race effectively over, unless something miraculous happens. And he gets a penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Yeah, I fear that those are his chances completely over at this point. He's pitting onto new tires, but he has to serve that penalty. Oh, so he's basically going to be last by the time he comes back out. Plus a nose change. So after that, he's going to have a drive-through, which means that he's going to be effectively last in this race, and he's going to have all the work to do again. So very unfortunate. Starting from P12 will effectively be last after that drive-through penalty, which will have to be served once the safety car comes in. So Legend is currently the leader, followed by J Prentice, Black Phoenix, Jizzy, and Gamez, and Racing Maestro. Flex Marcel on new mediums. A lot of drivers on new mediums, of course. Button on new softs. I'm wondering if those will last 13 laps. I don't think they will. So Button will probably have to stop again, actually. So I'm wondering what the plan is. Maybe another safety car. Maybe he's hoping or something. Yeah, we will see. Alright, so while this safety car is going around one more time, I will be back. I'll just take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Alright, so yeah, this safety car has completely changed everything. We will see what happens in these remaining 12 laps after they cross the line. So yeah, safety car in this lap. Jay was on 18-lap-old mediums when he crashed, so that probably explains why, especially at such a high intensity corner like turn 1, that would probably happen. And here we go. Legend blasts away to start lap 23 of 34. And they all storm into turn 1, hopefully all unscathed. Yep, thankfully. Battle for P6 here, Maestro versus Marcel. Now DRS won't be enabled until 3 laps after, I believe, or 1 lap after. So it's all going to be engine power, ERS power, slipstream. No DRS assistance. As the two Hasses make contact a little bit, as they're trying to get past the McLaren of Black Phoenix. There's been an accident at the back, And it's left Reese off worst. No damage, I don't think, but a lot of time loss. As into Sachs curve they go. As Legend sets the fastest lap, while being in the lead. Black Phoenix has a time penalty. As Marcel and Anton both pit. Anton for the drive-through and Marcel for probably a wing change. As here we go, battle for P4. Three wide into the hairpin. Ooh, Luke goes very deep. That could have been very bad if there was a car in the way there. As Legend is slightly extending his advantage here. As Shady and Jack King still battling into turn 1. Ooh, that was very close. Thankfully they're both okay though. And here we go, DRS is now enabled again. So here we go. Racing Maestro, Bazooka Joe, and Buttons back. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between the two. Maestro has a penalty. Racing Maestro goes in really deep and hits Bazooka Joe. Ooh, Maestro's all over the place. He's losing positions. A very unfortunate few corners there for the Alfa Romeo driver. When Reese has a penalty as well. Now this is going to be crazy. About 5 cars all having DRS on each other. Here we go. It's 3 wide at the back plus 2 wide nearer to the front. Closer to the front. Ooh, they touch. And the cars behind touch as well. Ooh, as Jack has spun around, or has been spun around, I'm not sure. And he's on the softs as well, so yeah, he's gonna come into the pits now. Shady has a penalty. Ooh, as Reese drifts out wide there at turn 1. As here we go, Gamez on Jizzy for the final podium spot. Nice cut back. Ooh, a little bit of touching. More touching. Side pod to wheel. As Gammas has a penalty and Button has a penalty too. Very close stuff here. We have two major battles going on as Bun comes into the pits. And here we go, Gammas on Jizzy once again, as seen by Luke Vettel. And Gammas gets past. But Gammas, oh no, doesn't go deep. He takes it perfectly actually. And yeah, Gammas is passed up into P3. And here we go, Red Bull versus Ferrari and Racing Point versus Alpha. They're both still side by side, 2 by 2. Racing Maestro gets past. And the Red Bull gets past as well. Of Bazooka Joe. Now Jizzy is under pressure from Luke. But with no ERS, Luke just doesn't have that speed to do it. Ooh, there's a huge battle back here. Ooh, a little bit on the grass and then a little bit wide by Reese there, but he recovers nicely. Still pressurizing Bazooka Joe. Here we go. Racing Maestro trying to close in on Reese, but can't quite do it. Quite yet. Bazooka Joe going a little bit wide. We are now approaching lap 31 of 34, and stuff has no sign of letting up quite yet. US Prentice has to go a little bit wide. Here we go, battle for P6, J Prentice versus Conal. Ooh, Conal almost goes into the back of J Prentice there as he brakes for turn 1. As the battle for P1 here is heating up as well. We have like 4 different battles going on here, all at once. Let's watch this, because they're... Oh, we got Conal passing J Prentice. Around the outside, they ghost a little bit into each other for a moment. But Konal gets passed up into P6. Ooh, as Bazooka Joe gets pushed out wide. Jay Prentice gets a penalty. Ooh, as Racing Maestro's lost it. He's into the wall. A little bit too wide. And that is a huge disappointment at the very end of the race. Just 3 laps to go, and now Maestro is going to have to pit, or will lose 20 seconds at least in the remainder of the race, and he will be last place. Yes, he's coming in. Very unfortunate for Maestro. Just got a little bit too wide there on the curb, on the exit curb, onto the gravel, and then spun into the wall. Ooh, as Luke Vettel gets spun a little bit by either Gamez or Jizzy. Gamez and Jizzy very close, battling very hard for that that podium spot. Gamez has to go wide there. Just 2 laps to go. As Black Phoenix is desperately trying to get past Legend here for the lead. But as Gamez has passed Jizzy as well. As here we go, last lap. Black Phoenix versus Legend. They're going side by side. Black Phoenix is passed at the moment, but Legend's gonna have to do something really soon to get back past. The cutback, it might work, but unfortunately not this time. So now Black Phoenix appears to be appears to have basically won the race with that move, as it's very hard to get back past, aside from that DRS zone. But Legend's going to be trying to pressurize him into a mistake, desperately trying everything he can. But an incredible last lap pass by Black Phoenix, before penalties at least, is going to give him P1 on the track, and we will see what happens next. So close at the line, but Legend gets the win after penalties because of a 3-second time penalty that Black Phoenix had, probably for corner cutting. Gamez P3 on track, but Jizzy gets it after pens. Luke P4, Gamez officially P5. Konal is going to be P6, gets demoted to P7, and then P8. Jay Prentice P6, Shay T P7, Reese P8, and Konal P9, Bazooka Joe P10, Flex Marcel P11, Jack King will be P12, Anton will be P13, Racing Maestro will be P14, and Buttonsback 22 will be P15, with the sole retirement being JJig at turn 1, I believe on lap 20 or 21. So that is the race. That is Germany for round 4 of season 4 of Rising Phoenix. Drop my controller there. That probably wasn't the best. But anyways, yeah, thank you to everyone who has watched and listened. And from me and everyone here at Rising Phoenix, thank you for watching and listening, of course. And yeah, we will see you in our next Friday for round 5. But yeah, look at that legend. Only driver without penalties, I believe. Yeah, only driver without penalties. That is incredible. Started P1, finished P1, no pens. Fastest lap as well, I think. Just barely from Black Phoenix. But yeah, those two were really close. Obviously, without the penalty, it would have been less than half a second and less than half a tenth. Less than half a second with the race time and less than half a tenth with the best lap time. But yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching and listening, everybody, and we will all see you soon. Goodbye.